Coming up on today's Indonesia, the president finally drops his top cop choice. Why is Indonesia delaying the transfer of prisoners on death row to their final journey? Bank Indonesia makes a surprise rate cut to boost the economy. Hello and welcome to today's Indonesia. I am Luisa Kusnandar. President Joko Widodo finally took steps to solve the ongoing dispute between police and the anti-graft agency. On Wednesday, the president dropped Budi Gunawan's nomination as the next police chief leader. He proposed Badrodin Haiti to the House of Representatives as the new top cop candidate. Gunawan was previously named a suspect by the KPK, but a court challenge won Gunawan over the anti-graft body. Meanwhile, President Widodo also dismissed KPK Chairman Abraham Samad and Deputy Chairman Bambang Wijayanto. The two were named suspects in a fake document and regional election dispute. He appointed temporary leaders to lead the KPK. We get perspective now from our viewpoint analyst. Ulil Abshar Abdallah is here. He's a political analyst from the Freedom Institute. Ulil, what do you have to say? Are you satisfied with the president's call?
Finally, we have a good news from the palace, and I think this is what people has been waiting for. I think for approximately 1 month. The dispute between KPK and National Police and the indecisive stance of the president, but finally we got a news, and that's good. Congratulations to Mr. Jokowi.
So you're saying this is a good decision?
This is a good decision, but this is not the end of story, because this is a nomination, an action being made on the part of the president. It depends on the approval of the parliament. So we don't know yet what's going to happen in the parliament, because as far as we know, and we learn from statement made by many parliamentarians, particularly from PDIP and NASDEM, they still insist on Bege being inaugurated as a chief leader of the National Police. So we don't know yet what's going to happen in our parliament. I'm still not so happy yet, because we still have to wait for the decision from the parliament.
But you know, like, people were saying that this is such a big test for the president. So in terms of what he has decided on today, do you think that he has made the best choice and he had passed the test? I
think he has made the best choice, and I think he listened to the pressure of the public. Finally, he listened to the conscience of the nations, let's say. And now the burdens lies on the parliament, on our parliaments, and let's see. And I think the decision should be made quickly by the parliament, maybe next week.
Surely.
Yeah.
Now, President Widodo has appointed Badrodin Haiti as the next candidate. What do you think of him? Is he the right candidate?
I think so. The closest person to assume the position of national chief today is Badrodin Haiti, because currently he is the acting chief police. So even though there are some reservation from some people toward this figure, but I think he's the best choice for Jokowi for now. And yeah.
Well, what about the KPK's temporary candidates replacing Abraham Samad and Bambang Wijayanto?
I think that's a good decision, because according to our law, is the commissioner of the KPK has been named in any criminal acts, he should resign as a commissioner. This is what law says. And I think Jokowi's decision to dismiss the two commissioners from their post is a good decision. And I'm happy that Jokowi nominated three persons. One of them was the former commissioner, Taufikur Rahman Ruki. The other one being the former spokesperson of KPK, Johan Budi. I think it's good decision. But my concern is still with the parliament. It's not, I mean, yeah. And also, this is a big question to consider in the long run, in the future. How to protect the KPK from any criminalization of any sort that has been happening these days. So I think Jokowi, as some people pressure, Jokowi should pass a new law, Perpu, what we call Perpu, stipulating that criminalization of KPK is not allowed, giving the commissioners of KPK some legal protection or legal immunity. That's what people demand, recently. So I think it's worth considering that President Jokowi give issue a new law that protect the commissioners.
Well, that's a really good point that you have right there. Now, do you think this is the best option in tackling the feud between the two agencies?
Of course, President Jokowi is too slow in settling this problem, I think, but finally we got a good decision by the president. But I think we are still in the middle of the road. Yes, we are not yet there to settle the problem 100%, because there are still some hurdle to be tackled in the future. Like I mentioned before, that the problem of criminalizations, and also the problem of relationship between KPK and the Polri, that's also a big issue to be dealt with. Yeah.
So what's your prediction on what's going to happen in the future then?
I think let's wait for some good news from the parliament next week, because the dispute between the president and also his party is also another big concern for us. You know that the nomination of Budi Gunawan came not from Jokowi himself, but from Megawati. So now what's PDIP should do, and Nasdem as well, because there were some rumors that we heard these days that should Jokowi insist on going forward with his decision not to inaugurate BG or Budi Gunawan, PDIP and Nasdem would remove the political support from Jokowi, and that means Jokowi will stand on his own without political support. That's a big shake-up on the government. That would put Jokowi in a lame duck situation. But let's see.
Let's see. Well, at least now, just before Chinese New Year, there's a sign of relief.
We hope that this Chinese New Year will bring some fortune, a political fortune for our nation and also for Jokowi, because if something bad happened to Jokowi because his party, his coalition remove the support,
that's another story.
That's another saga that is, sad to happen.
But at least for now, it's a huge relief.
It's a huge relief.
It's a big burden that has been lifted.
But not the end of the story.
Yes.
Huge relief, but not the end of the story.
Yes, we'll see what happens next. Ulil Afshar Abdallah, thank you so much for coming and sharing your perspective with us today. Authorities have postponed the transfer of 11 inmates on death row to the death prison island of Nusa Kambangan in central Java, citing technical problems. Attorney General spokesman Tony Spontana on Tuesday in Jakarta admitted that the island was not prepared to handle executions. 4 Indonesian and 7 foreign nationals, including the Australian pair, have had their executions delayed. For now, when the prisoners would be moved or when the executions will take place remains unclear. Australia has been strongly campaigning to save the life of its citizens.
Tentu ini merupakan wujud respon kita terhadap permintaan pemerintah Australia dan keluarganya untuk memberikan waktu agak panjang kepada keluarga para narapidana untuk bertemu sama mereka. Salah satu narapidana yang akan dieksekusi mati terindikasi mengalami gangguan jiwa.
Australia on Wednesday welcomed the delay but said that there was still no sign of clemency for the Bali 9 masterminds. Besides, Australia's rejection came also from France over the death penalty. But Indonesia's foreign minister said the death penalty was a domestic law enforcement response and not a foreign policy position. Indonesia has more than 100 people on death row, including 57 for drug crimes and 2 terrorists. Now to our first look at the weather. Standing by at the weather monitor is Ashifa Latif. Ashifa, tell us, what's the quick forecast for tomorrow's weather?
Yes, Luisa, better keep your umbrella ready as rain will still be here in the capital. A day with clouds and thunderstorms is forecast. Daytime high will hit 28 degrees while the lowest will be 23. And that's our first look at the weather. I'll come back with more details later on in the program. Luisa?
Thank you, Ashifa. Today's Indonesia will continue shortly. Up next, high inflation and a depreciating rupiah. How worried should we be? We'll find out next.